Alright, good morning and welcome back to the Loft. Now this video is going to be the first series in a project that's going to allow me to express myself in long form content because I've been doing short form full time for a year or two and I kind of want to just try this new medium out. So with that being said, the last time I did a woodworking project and vlogged the process was a year ago when I made my first ever piece of furniture. Am I even recording? Classic YouTuber moment. Yes, I am. But honestly, other than the hassle that it was making it, other than the slight imperfections, I think that this thing turned out great. And so now, exactly a year to the day later, I'm collaborating with Home Depot, which is a crazy 360 full circle moment. 360 full circle. So back in my trick shotter era. So the campaign that the Home Depot is running is actually called the Evolution campaign. And ever since I made this first ever piece, I wanted to do a new rendition of it to show my progress as a woodworker. So one day when I was scrolling Pinterest and I saw this photo, which is the Urban Outfitters EBA storage console, I instantly wanted to build it because it's from the same collection of Urban Outfitters furniture that this first ever piece was. And so if I didn't over explain it enough, that's what we're building today. So yeah, it's about 9 a.m. and before Home Depot gets too packed, I figured first thing we should do, go get our materials. So let's get right into the project. YouTuber transition word. Let's get it. Okay, so while I get ready to actually go out, I figured I would add a little bit of context to this build for you guys. Because honestly, without saying this, I don't even know if any of this makes sense at all. So basically the area right behind where I shot the intro is this kind of wide open space with some of the ugliest construction I've ever made. This space is where I basically store all of my tools, leftover cat toys, and dangerous equipment, which thinking about it now does not go well together. And hopefully I've been showing this on screen, but today's goal is to make it so my cats don't accidentally cut their head off. Should I even say that? Which is impossible. I unplug all my tools anyway, but I just want to make it a safer space that also looks better. That sounds a lot better. All right, to Home Depot we go. Check it out. Now, honestly, I'm probably going to be here for about an hour or two because I've gotten very used to filming in public, specifically in Home Depots in my area, because that's literally what I do for work. But as far as materials go for what I'm going to get, definitely MDF board over plywood for this project, probably Gorilla Glue for assembly, and some paint. And I don't know if I'm underthinking it, but that seems like all you need to make this. And that's just for materials alone. I actually am thinking I'm going to get a new tool, whether that's a table saw or a track saw. I really am not sure yet. And when I am in Home Depot, I'll put all of the materials on screen that I end up going with. It'll probably be about that, but if you're following along, this will make it easier maybe. So when I get home, we will debrief. But for now, yeah, I'm going to go into Home Depot. Okay, materials acquired, my trunk is currently down, and I'm gonna have a windy ass ride home. Once I get home, I'll show you the tool that I ended up going with, and honestly, it was pretty cheap as far as all my materials go. Honestly, I don't know if I'm just lazy, but the worst part about all my projects is always unloading all of my materials into the apartment. It's always like an hour-long process, and usually I end up taking everything up the stairs because it doesn't fit in the elevator. It's obviously like the goofiest thing to complain about, but I am not looking forward to doing that in about 20 minutes. All right, I'm gonna go listen to the Beach Boys, and then I will catch you all at home once I unload everything and debrief and talk about which tool I got. Probably what I'll be yapping about. Okay, so quick Home Depot haul. We just got back and I definitely went overkill with the spending. However, to be fair, I have been using one single tool to make all my wood cuts for the past year. That is a jigsaw. When I was doing my first furniture build, I actually got this circular saw right here, but actually it stopped working within a few days. So to replace this, I got a new one with a lot more power to it and a more expensive tool overall. The employee actually talked me down from getting a table saw with the type of cuts I'm doing anyway. They said a track and a circular saw would be the best case scenario, also more convenient. And yeah, let's unbox this real quick. I don't really know how to use these things quite yet. I'm assuming that learning how to set up this track is going to take a while, but new jigsaw, new track, new blades, and I think we're good to start cutting. Now, luckily, out of all the tools I've ever owned, I feel like the track saw and the circular saw were the easiest bell curve to get around. It really only took me like 20 minutes to figure out what I was doing. So at this point, I feel like the most logical thing to do is actually just do a commentary over me cutting and kind of talk about the decisions I'm making and why I'm doing what I am doing. So I'll throw a graphic on screen of all the dimensions I'm using and everything I'm cutting to. But either way, I had my MDF pre-cut so that I would only need to do 1 or 2 simple cuts for my sides. And I feel like the most intimidating step for a beginner woodworker doing this project would be once you see it, there's very intricate circles and ovals cut into the front. But this is a DIY project and I wasn't gonna learn how to use a protractor, so genuinely I just grabbed some plates from my kitchen and used that to make these shapes. Now this is where this project deviates a little bit from my reference image because I added vertical shelves on each side. Honestly, I thought it was just a much better look. And this is where I went back to Old Reliable and I busted out the jigsaw, and that was what I cut all these holes out with. And now you're all up to date on the project, so let's go back to past me where I'm in the process of building. Okay, so I think everything is actually going along really smoothly. The console table is looking fantastic, but I just got an email that a package arrived from downstairs and it came from China. I guess it's been a few weeks coming, but I have no idea what it is. Also, I got new socks, not quite as relevant, but I am excited to open this package. Although this wrapping does match my apartment very nicely. Yeah, another box. Fantastic. What the hell is this? What is this thing? This is crazy. What the fuck? I messaged the company that sent it and asked if this was it, but for now, it is kind of cool. Whatever it is, it's sick. So for now, it's gonna go on top of this bookshelf. So all right, now I think while we flip our screen over here, we're gonna get back to woodworking. I'm gonna reset up my workspace. And while we're at it, here's what we have so far. Honestly, I think this looks great. Unless I run into any unforeseen circumstances, I think that this whole thing is gonna run smoothly just because this main part with all the shelves, getting it specifically, God, what a long thing I'm saying. Getting all of these shelves perfectly equally far apart from one another, if that makes sense, is the hardest part. So the fact that I was able to do that, and I think it looks amazing, will be very telling to the rest of this project. Dude, this is why I woodwork and no vlog. All right, let's get back to woodworking. Double up. Okay, just kidding, we were actually back with part 2 of this commentary. I didn't realize that I would have more. So once all my cuts were done, the easiest, however most tedious part of the process began because painting and priming, while it's very mind-numbing and doesn't really require much thought, it does take a while. Now I went with the color white so it could match all my other main pieces of furniture, but I feel like it'd look really cool if you got experimental with the colors on this. And once the painting process is done, that's when assembly comes, which should be the last part of your project. I ran into some trouble here and we'll get to that in a second, but this should be easy. So basically you can see I'm laying down the front piece on a blanket so nothing scratches the floor. Then I'm just adding all my shelves in and putting construction adhesive on every single piece. And the assembly process honestly took about 2 hours. Super quick, super simple, or at least it should have been until I ran into a massive issue. Check that out. How fun. How fun is this? This actually drove me crazy. All right, so it's been about an hour. I let a lot of this dry so it's set in place, but we just ran into our first issue, which is once I put this shelf up, there is now no room for my next piece of wood. So what I'm gonna do is go to the work table with this and I'm going to trim like the smallest amount off, and hopefully that doesn't scratch up the paint or anything. I'm gonna try to be delicate as possible. Okay, now in lieu of time, hopefully I did that perfectly. Okay, luckily I did that perfectly. I almost had a heart attack because I thought I did the wrong piece of wood. So I was quiet for a minute, but I did not. All right, yeah, look at that, we're perfect. So now to just finish getting this thing together. All right, now it really wouldn't be the spirit of one of my videos unless by this point in the process, I was on the brink of losing my mind. Because I swear I really am. Now, I don't really know if I've stressed this too much, but my due date is a hard deadline of tomorrow at noon. Now, as you can see from the assembly process, I need a top or a bottom. And I had one piece of leftover MDF that I was saving for this, but I guess at some point I mislabeled my MDF board and I cut it in half. So obviously complaining is not gonna do anything, but I have to have a game plan here. I need to go to Home Depot, grab another piece of MDF. I'm gonna skip the priming process, just cut it, paint it, and then assemble it. Work until 3 a.m. Who doesn't love that?
You like this one? Or this one?
I like this. I like the one in your hand.
I really like this one. This is the one we're getting.
Yeah, this is definitely the best one. Outside has a lot better selection. All right, camera's about to die, but we definitely went overboard with these.
Wow, the jungle.
Yeah, we went from jungle apartment to jungle car. This is actually crazy. It's super hot, and I think actually this might be my favorite. I'm obsessed with this little one. All right.
Wait, we need other shit.
Oh yeah, we do need other shit.
Alright, I don't really mean to sound dramatic here, but this has to be the best thing I've ever built. Especially with how uncertain I was feeling at the end of the day yesterday, I really can't believe this all worked out how it did. Like honestly, from the VR headset fitting perfectly into this space, or the basketball fitting into this one, or even all of my tools, finally having somewhere to fit everything is incredible. And it's actually what the whole point of this video was, so that worked out. And also this morning, the finishing pieces, which ended up turning this into a lamp, came in, and there's no way this is not the coolest lamp I've ever seen. With the award to the second coolest lamp ever going to this one that actually was mailed from the same company, also came in this morning. Some other things we styled this piece with were some books that were laying around. And also Megan and I found a print of this cat while we were out in Boston earlier, which looks just like our cat Nyla, so I'm obsessed with this piece. Obviously we dropped some plants, some more lights, some glassware, and I think how we styled it is really perfect. Now, obviously, as you witnessed, while we were at Home Depot, we got some plants. And since my fiance Megan is our resident plant care provider in this household, it really only makes sense for her to show you guys exactly how to plant a houseplant and kind of go throughout the process of styling and planting all of our plants. I think we're at about 30 or 40 plants now, which is insane. So honestly, without further ado, let's just give Megan a segment. Why not? This is Megan's garden. All right, so we have a new segment now in this vlog, Megan's garden. Basically,
all right, give this to me. All right, so all of this cost $300. We did all separate pots for everything. So we're gonna plant every single one. We got this huge thing of soil, and then we got a bunch of rocks at the bottom. So let's get started and let's plant these bitches. We are gonna start with the fig plant. All right, so this pot has a hole at the bottom, so that's good because we need that for drainage. Step one is placing the rocks at the bottom for filtration. We got like a 100-pound thing of soil, and now I am placing it in our barrel. That was $30. All right, do we think that's good? Oh, look at those roots. He was itching to get out of there. Now we fill in the sides. Wow. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. What, you think you just get all this for free? No. Yes. Now we're gonna add some rocks on top. Give them that little finished glow and look. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So now we're gonna speed up the process and plant the rest of them. So we just finished planting all the plants, and I'm very excited to show you because they came out absolutely amazing. So look at this. The rocks, are you kidding? Amazing. This one, oh my God. We put them side by side in the mirror, so when we're taking selfies, it's great. Moving on this way. Yeah, he's got some rocks in there. He's got a good amount of dirt, it's fine. Do I need to say anything? It's amazing. And we cannot forget about our newest little addition. She's so mindful, she's so proper.
And funny enough, when Megan and I went on our first ever date back in 2019, we actually got this bamboo plant, and this is now our second ever bamboo. So here was our first, and it is still kicking 5 years later.
He's not the prettiest, but he's still thriving.
All right, and honestly, with that all being said, I think that's gonna end the video here. I did have a ton of fun making it, but it is already time for me to get on to the next piece of furniture I'm building, so stay tuned because genuinely, I'm so excited to make another one of these videos. Aside from that, in the next video, Megan and I are very excited to get into some new home decor projects, specifically on a gallery wall that we wanna do all around this massive painting. For years now, Megan and I have been thrifting paintings and prints specifically for an eventual gallery wall, and we think it's finally time. Honestly, this YouTube channel is a massive passion project of mine. It always has been since I was a kid uploading to it. Like, I don't know that anyone will be interested in this series or this project, but if you are, definitely subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And with that being said, stay tuned for the next video. I'll talk to you guys later. You've been YouTube. I've been Turner. Peace out.